Good day and welcome to the dining room table. Is New York City prepared to handle bomb threats? Subscribe, like, and share. NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Operations Kaz Daughtry posted on X. This audio is of NYPD response to a citizen's call where they thought they saw a grenade. Thankfully, it was fake. But you know what was real? The danger caused by protesters who blocked our emergency response. What you're going to see disturbed me as a September 11th survivor. We are going to listen to the audio and some video, but first.
New York City 911, Dealing Police Fire Medical.
I'm over driver. Okay? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I don't know, like it's a bomb or I don't know, something like this. I don't know what happened here.
The Uber driver has called into 911 saying that he found something in his car, looks like a bomb, something of metal. He does not know what it is.
In my car.
Emergency service, Adam 1.
Adam 1.
Request at 33 come over in Midtown South. We got a request for ESU from the sergeant.
For winning condition.
I said the person said they found a bomb in the backseat of their car. That's all the information we had. Just said it was a gray and green item made of metal.
SRG Captain Central.
SRG Captain.
So listen, I need to clear this. 5 and 6.
A bomb threat is something pretty serious, especially when you have FBI director appearing on many hearings talking about the terrorist threats that the United States face. Here you also hear them giving instructions to clear the way for emergency vehicles. As the protest is going on, you see the umbrellas and so it's raining.
First service trying to get through. We need some more. We need an old field force over here. They'll kill our P-Wagons.
All right, check out that location that came over with static. Where you at?
Okay, so
Here is New York City's response to that 911 call. So if you see here, you see the police car trying to come in. There is a protest going on. Now, people have a right to lawfully protest. They don't have a right to, block emergency vehicles that are coming in. But I want to also point out that this looks like it's a drone footage NYPD put out. And if drone footage, which they've been using at protests to monitor the protests, when that call came in, they would have seen that was a street, that was a route that they could not take. And this is not to NYPD. I think it's not just an NYPD situation, it's also a federal situation, because when you hear a bomb threat, that's pretty serious. And thank God it wasn't real, but this may have been a test. And NYPD, the federal government, Biden administration, Adams administration, Kathy Hochul's administration, as a September 11th survivor, I hope they take this situation and look at it seriously, because whether the protesters are there lawfully or unlawfully, when there's a threat, they have to find other ways to get to the threat. I remember being on the ground September 11th in heels. There's professionals running. There's parents picking up their children from the local daycare after just dropping them off. There are street vendors and tourists, firefighters running to the building, and police officers trying to figure out how they can help. And, first responders just assisting. And still, with all of that going on, there seemed to be more order than what I see here in this bomb threat. And if that was the president of the United States coming through and there was a call that there was a gathering of people at a location, Secret Service would have already had 2 to 3 alternate routes to get the president wherever the president had to go. So there has to be more of a plan, not just with NYPD, but on the federal government. The federal government probably should have gotten to that bomb threat before NYPD got to that bomb threat. And I understand that the police department wants to make sure that this practice of blocking emergency vehicles does not happen again. But maybe there should have been a unit dealing with that and a separate unit dealing with the bomb threat. And this is definitely not to the lawful protesters. There is a lot going on in the Middle East. A lot of innocent children and babies have been killed and continue to be killed, including hostages that are still in Gaza and need to be brought home. So there's a lot going on, and it's spilling into other cities, and New York City being such a big city. FBI Ray, I have that video on the channel talking about the level of terrorist threats in New York City and in the United States. And you see so many people gathered. You see the umbrellas. You don't know what's going on. And, these type of situations many times have agitators who are not there for the cause, are not part of the situation. They're coming from far to bring destruction and chaos to communities. And, law enforcement should have planned for that, should have seen with the drone and communicated to them, you cannot come down. This is a bomb threat. You cannot come down that street. We got to come down. You're going to have to. They're seeing it the same way they're doing it with a police chase. They're able to tell the patrols on the car which ways to go. I think this may have been reckless on the law enforcement part to even attempt to come down that street with the car. You should have. You can't come with the car. You gotta come another way. It's a bomb threat. You gotta get to the bomb. You can't go through those people. How would we get to the bomb? So now you see this NYPD on the ground, and people are going to the car. The NYPD, some of them are trying to, but it's just too many people. It's just, this makes me nervous. This is a bomb threat. This makes me nervous. This is not, ooh. And now you're going to see with the neon green jackets, that is NYPD on bike. Now, I don't have any law enforcement training, but I think police officers on bikes would be at parades, not at protests, because you see that they can't get through with the bikes. And then if they do need to assist in any way, they're trying to figure out, do they hold on to their bike or do they go and do their job? Not really understanding that part of it. There's a lot going on. The global world is watching us. I watch news all over and they're laughing at us. It's like if a boxer is getting ready for a fight, they may watch some of their opponents' previous fights to understand how they move. and knowing that America has people who are saying death to America, and our borders are open, and the federal government has already, they have practically acknowledged that there are people in the United States that could potentially be terrorists. And we're looking at a bomb threat in New York City in the rain during a protest with police officers on bike. A police officer is stuck behind a crowd. We got to do better. This makes me nervous. I felt safer on September 11th trying to maneuver out of New York City with all that was going on than I think I would feel right there in this crowd right here. NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Operations Cass Daughtry writes back again, "Happy Saturday to all, except the people who thought it was a good idea to block an NYPD ESU vehicle on the way to a bomb threat call. They will be spending their Saturday where they belong, in jail." NYPD Chief of Patrols talks about the protesters, their advocates, and how they were disrupting the streets for first responders. And I don't agree with blocking the streets for first responders. And that's part of New York City's push to get as many as many cars off the street and to leave room for first responders. But we have to be prepared for whatever. And whether they're in the street lawfully or unlawfully, there has to be a system. And this is a drone. That's the technology that we have. What other way was there for us to get to where we had to get through without pushing a car through people, whether they were supposed to be there or not? We got to find a way to our emergency destination in a threat like this. And New York City has a counterterrorism department, and they couldn't have, this was a 911 call, so they handle credible threats that they are following and tracking and getting tips from globally. This was a 911 call, and there has to be a system in place that we don't know what barriers would stop you from getting where they were. And this is a test, and we use this as a test, not to blame the disruptive protesters and agitators that we gotta always plan for, right? But to prepare that the next time, if there's a next time, God forbid there's a next time, you have another way to get through. This can't happen. NYPD Chief of Transit, "Blocking a street, preventing an emergency vehicle from passing is super reckless, extremely dangerous, and illegal. Those who do so endanger people's safety and lives, and people should be held accountable." As of September 11th survivor, I'm asking you all to find a plan with all that's going on in the Middle East and spilling into cities like New York City. We have to be prepared. President Biden communicate with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. This cannot happen. Until next time.